Good evening, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode here at WILDMAN Lifts. I'm your host, WILDMAN. Now on tonight's episode, yes, I said tonight because the sun is going down a lot sooner. That's just the way the seasons go. So this is actually starting to remind me of my olden days when I had to work out at nighttime, and as it gets colder, I'll start to bundle up. And no, I won't be wearing my sunglasses throughout the workout because I won't be able to see. Just for intros, outros, and intermediate stuff. Now on today's workout is overhead press day, and I actually had a lot of options to choose from. I could have done circus dumbbell, I could have done axle overhead, I could have done seated barbell press, or I could have done one of my favorites, which is the log. So today was dealer's choice. It was between the circus dumbbell or this. I kind of feel like this is more important right now, and I'm trying to get better at this right now because I'm right where I want to be at the circus dumbbell. So I want to get better at this tonight. Hopefully hit the number that I'm trying to hit, and that will all go well. And as I looked at my monthly list, I started to notice that I'm lacking in jump ropes, and I'm lacking in a lot of push-pull stuff with the sled. So I'm going to be doing that in between for my giant set. So let's pop into tonight's workout, and let's see how we do. Now on this particular evening, I had looked at my chart to see what I was lacking and my monthly totals. So what I do is I take my Excel spreadsheet and I go through it to make sure that when I'm programming my giant sets for the day, I may not have every single workout planned. Sometimes I do, but on this particular night, the only thing that was suggested was to do the overhead press, and I really didn't have to pick a particular one. I could pick whichever one I wanted, and I feel like I've been lacking in the log press, so I decided to do that for this evening. And then I looked at everything else, and I realized that I was behind on my push-pull, which is sled work or moving a tire or something that involves some type of forward momentum where you're pulling or pushing it. And I was also lacking in my jump ropes. So I decided to take care of all of that tonight by doing a lot of sled work and a lot of jump ropes to make up for it. And this is how I stay balanced and conditioned. So I make sure I don't overwork something, which will reduce the likelihood of injury and will also create less imbalances, so that way I have less aches and pains in my joints and my shoulders to make sure that I can keep working out pain-free. Now right away, I could tell something was wrong. These were not flying up like they should be. I mean, I'm watching it now and I can see that it is flying up very fast, but in the moment, it didn't feel like that. 165 pounds right there actually felt a lot heavier than it typically does. So I thought to myself, shoot, I'm not going to be able to hit the number I want to hit today because I'm just not up to par. So I was trying to figure it out. And one thing I kind of thought about was I did some heavy deadlifts not too long ago for 2 max reps. And that could be the reason why I'm moving a lot slower, because that's just central nervous system fatigue. And this is my second to top set before I get to my actual top. And this should have actually flown up, but you'll see it kind of dips a little bit. And it's a little bit slow moving. So I knew I had to get serious for the next one. And really what kind of helped was putting my elbows closer together and flexing my shoulders more in the front rack position. So that's kind of what I was missing as I was warming up and what I was missing from my arsenal of technique. So you'll see here, I get it up and I put my elbows together, and that causes my shoulders to give a bigger platform, and that flies up faster than 205 did. So I was very happy about that. And that's the reason why you have to kind of monitor your workouts to make sure that you're hitting everything appropriately so you don't run into the same issues like I did on this night. All right, I'm really glad that I hit this weight. Now the clean was moving very slow as I was going up in weight, and that's because not too long ago I did deadlifts and I did a 2-rep max with axle and chains. And that kind of carries over when you're trying to do like an Olympic explosive jerk or clean in this case. And that can actually slow you down because your central nervous system fatigue is in high gear at that point. But on my last rep, I was actually able to dial it in. I was able to clean it up very fast and efficiently, and I was able to use the right technique to press it up, so I was happy with that. Now let's jump into the variation giant set to get a little bit better at this bad boy. So here's a movement I haven't done in a long time. It's the log incline bench press. And the reason why I decided to do this was because, again, I was lacking in bench press comparative to my other numbers. So it just kind of made sense to do that. And this is also a great exercise to do when you're trying to work on your log overhead press stability, since you're overloading the movement. I didn't really know what number I wanted to go to, so I started off small and worked my way up. And I just kept consistent with my sled work and with my jump ropes, like I said, because I was really lacking in that area. Now, although this movement is great to improve your log press, it's not a good variation lift to do if you're just going to do it without doing the log clean and press. You should do the log clean and press and then do this afterwards to make sure that you are improving the log clean and press. Because if you just try to do this bench press movement all by yourself and then try to go to the log clean and press, you're going to find out that you're extremely imbalanced because you don't have a bench to balance off of. So it's important to do it that way, just in case everybody's thinking I might want to just do this instead of doing a log clean and press and I'll get better at it. That won't happen. Trust me. I've tried that for years, and it's just better to do the log clean and press and then use this as a variation lift to get better at the overhead stability portion and to overload the movement with weight for the log clean and press. So for my second set, I hit my 1 rep max for the night, and then I overloaded to my old PR. So that's what that was about. All right, everything's going according to plan. So I'm really enjoying tonight. I do notice that I'm getting like a lot of congestion in my chest. So I feel like I'm starting to get a little sick here. So hopefully that's not the case and I can keep lifting. But if that's the case, I'm gonna have to dial it back. But I'm supposed to be going up right now in programming. Now, I'm not really in the mood to bring out other equipment and start training with that for the assistants and for the accessory giant set. So since this log is here, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep using it for all of my sets. And I'll show you how to do that right now. So let's pop into the assistants giant set. So for the assistants giant set, I was trying to do the strict log overhead press. So I dropped the weight down significantly. And then what I do is I mainly just try to rep it out as fast as I can. This gets a great pump to your shoulders and mimics the same movement as you would with a log press. So since I'm doing that, I'm kind of getting extra practice in there and pumping the shoulders full of blood. And that's kind of the purpose of doing a standing strict press, and you don't want to use your legs at all. And I was going to work up to a heavier sled repetition as well. I didn't really know what number I wanted to go to, so I was just going to kind of play it by ear. And I was going to do my last set of jump ropes as well. I was getting real tired of jump ropes, but I was severely lacking on them, so I had to do something about them. And typically on the assistance portion, or sometimes the variation portions, I like to use dumbbells. Dumbbells have actually helped me get better in the overhead press than a strict press would with a log or axle bar or barbell. I do believe that it has its moments though, so that's why I like to rotate them evenly. So I've been doing a lot of dumbbell work, and I really did not feel like bringing out the dumbbells this night. So I was like, man, I don't want to do those tonight. So I'm just going to leave the log out here because it's already here, it's already loaded, and I can just take off some weight and do some 3 sets of 10 with the log and do some strict press instead. But it does carry over a lot into the log. But again, a lot of strongmen like to do a strict press with no legs at all because they don't like to lose that real estate when they leg drive. And towards the end here, I was really feeling it there. So I was happy I was able to get through that at least. And I just kept the sled the same at the very end. I just did 310 pounds because it was getting heavier and heavier, including with all the jump ropes and all the extra work that I've done this evening. Now for the accessory giant set, I was doing 3 rounds, but I was stripping off all the weight from the log just to show how versatile it is. And I was doing overhead tricep extensions with it. Again, not the best thing to do, but the log was out here, so it was easier. And of course, I was doing my face pulls as well to keep my shoulders nice and healthy. And then I decided to do some extra sled work since I was lacking in sled work. So here are some sled lat pulls where you explosively pull. And then I just dragged it back like that. And that was the accessory giant set for the evening. All right, so that's going to cover it tonight here at WILDMAN Lifts on this beautiful evening. Hope everybody learned something new. If there's 2 takeaways I want you to get from this episode, it's going to be how to plan out your movements throughout the week or the month to make sure that you're hitting everything appropriately so that you're well balanced and you know what you need to hit on your next workout. The second thing I want you to take away is how many things you can do with this log. This log from Titan Fitness was not that expensive, and there's even cheaper logs out there, and you can do entire workouts with it. And they're really useful, and they carry over great into practical strength into real life. That's why I enjoy doing strongman movements, because they carry over nicely into everyday life. Really appreciate you stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.